some peace of mind. But TikTok said a gator drove a Jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat. And someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line. And Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. I'm just sitting here scrolling my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah. When it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling about the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards and wedding gear. Yeah, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave. I'm just
Good morning, everyone. It is the 18th of December. If you are like me and my husband, we are waiting for the 17th when Fallout's second season would come back because we finally found a show that doesn't irritate the snot out of, well, one or the other of us. This is a miracle in our marriage. There are very few shows that we can agree upon and not begrudgingly watch together. So our Christmas miracle has come already, but we do have a sort of across the pond story of absurdity for our, Advent calendar of the absurd. So I have some questions of our across the pond UK, watchers, because I didn't realize that this was a thing, but I am okay and I am here for it. More security is always better.
2025 is nearly done, so grab your cocoa, here's the fun. Every day's a brand new spree of what the hell absurdity. From runaway, emos on the loose to news you swear was fake, but true. Mo's got the snark, you bring the tea. It's the WFN Advent Countdown with Mosh.
Well, I didn't know we needed it, but apparently extra security at the World Pie Eating Championships, and get your minds out of the gutter because I know what you were thinking. And I was like, well, Bonnie Blue is back from Bali. I would think she would be the ultimate, security. No, not that kind of pie, degenerates. Extra security staff are being set to be deployed at this year's World Pie Eating Championships after the owner was tipped off about suspected, foul play. There are shenanigans afoot. Someone get, Benedict Cumberbatch and have him dress up as Sherlock Holmes. Tony Gallahan, owner of Harry's Bar in Wigan, Greater Manchester, has ordered greater surveillance after he was told that a competitor was planning to cheat during Thursday's event. Now, I'm guessing these are meat pies, like not American, or Bakewell tarts. I'm guessing these are a savory pie. I'm not sure how one would cheat with this. I am confused as to how one would cheat. It was alleged that a pie eater had planned to smuggle in a B&Q funnel under a baggy Angora. I'm guessing that's a sweater of some kind. Look, I'm not fancy. And y'all have different words for things. Like we call things sweaters and y'all say jumpers. And it must be lost in translation. For the rapid pie eating event, which sees people scoff as many pies as they can as fast as possible. Now, the distasteful technique would divert pie spillage down the inside front of his trousers. What in the... No. When you have to bring a funnel... I would think that this would be the one sport you could not cheat in, but apparently we have, Jurassic Park, nature finds a way. I love Jeff Goldblum playing Jeff Goldblum in various movies. I mean, at this point, that's what I would put. If I were a casting director, like, screw whatever character he's supposed to be playing. Let's just be honest. Jeff Goldblum plays Jeff Goldblum in whatever movie he is playing in. And I'm okay with that, but I think we need to have some honesty in advertising from now on. So he's going to be putting meat in his pants, as you do. Now, Tony said that we suspect the prospective dodgy competitor is a bin man because the tip-off came from a waste disposal operative who sneaks into Harry's bars on Tuesday undercover. We now have like MI6 levels of conspiracy in pie eating. We will be deploying security to check for secret funnels. When you have to do a strip search before a pie eating contest, you can't blame us when our mind goes to the gutters. The 2024 contest was won by 43-year-old builder Michael Chant from Bury, Greater Manchester, who set a new benchmark time of consuming a regulation pie in 14.9 seconds. Now, the cooked dimensions of an official regulation pie are a diameter of 12 centimeters and a depth of 3.5 centimeters, and a pie wall angle from base to top between 0 and 50 degrees-ish. Oh, that's a lot of math for pieology. But I did see a headline here, and I'm ADHD, and why not? Now, where is it? Mom with Britain's biggest boob is not a walking pair of breasts. Well, God bless UK news. I mean, I know we have tawdry news over here and the Inquirer, and boy, do I love just sitting in like the checkout lane looking at, how Elvis is still alive. By the way, keep a pin in Elvis because we might be talking about him tangentially today. That being said, we have nothing on the UK. Y'all find the stories of all... Well, I mean, she doesn't look all that booby to me here, but I mean, okay. Again, oh, well, now that's a choice for a lot of reasons. Yipes. Okay, well, see, this is what happens when I get off my task and I get seduced by big boobs and stories thereabouts. Now, having joked about that just a little bit, as a person who has a larger chestular region, there are some neck and shoulder problems, that do occur. So if this is on the, she wants a reduction for a better quality of life, I say good. If I had my druthers, now Mr. Mode totally disagrees, and I'm guessing most of the men in the chat are going to disagree. I would get them. They have served their purpose. Their Kelly Blue Book value. They have had their 100,000 miles. I would like to trade them in. I have been the president of the over the, shoulder boulder holder, committee. I would like to turn in my presidency, and I will be the leader of the itty bitty committee. I'm willing to change sides. At this point, I'm good. I am willing to change sides. They have done all they can do in the world. They've put up the good fight. Now they just get in the way of stuff and honestly just hurt my shoulders. So I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be done with them. Now on to actual headlines that you might need to know about, and not about Britain's, biggest boobed mom, which is important too, probably more to her. We do have actually a good story for once at the start of the headlines. God bless this week. A missing Kentucky girl has been found alive and with a new identity 42 years later, and she really didn't know that she was a missing child. So a good story, but I am sure a story that's going to lead to a lot of confusion in her life. A woman who was abducted when she was just 3 years old has been found alive and well more than 4 decades after her disappearance, with no knowledge that she'd ever been a victim of kidnapping in the first place. Michelle Marie Newton was first reported missing April 2nd, 1983. Her mother, Deborah Newton, allegedly moved the pair from Louisville, Kentucky to Georgia to begin a new job and prepare for a new home and a new family. But she had left her husband, Michelle's father, in the dust in Jefferson County and, hadn't told them or him where they were moving or anything like that. So this father has been looking for nearly 40 years. Now, the missing child was none the wiser for a staggering 42 years. Now, at 46, Michelle was raised under a different name, and her mother, now 66, started going by Sharon, according to the sheriff's deputies. So there were a lot of things that the mom put in place so this father couldn't find his daughter. Now, after Deborah allegedly absconded with their child, Joseph Newton tried to track them down. He told local news that he had spoken to his jilted wife somewhere between 1984 and 1985 before she vanished and started going under pseudonyms entirely. Still, the search for Deborah and Michelle passed until 2000. At that point, the case was dismissed because prosecutors could not reach Joseph anymore. Now, 5 years later, Michelle was removed from the nationwide missing child databases, the sheriff's office said, because by then she would have been around 25 years old. Now, the case was reopened in 2016 at the request of a family member, but there still weren't any really meaningful developments until police received a Bullseye Crime Stoppers tip in 2025. The damning tip led authorities to Deborah's home in the Villages in Florida on November 24th, where she'd been living in the famed retirement community as Sharon Neely and had a new, husband kind of beau by her side. Now, the body cam footage obtained by local news shows a police car rolling into Deborah's driveway, and a friend joked that they're coming for you, Sharon. Now, Deborah laughed it off, but deputies plainly stated that they were, in fact, here for her. After cuffing Deborah, who had already had a spot on the FBI's top 8 most wanted parent kidnapping fugitives, the police went to Michelle's doorstep and delicately explained to her that her reality was all entirely false, or at least built on falsehoods. You're not who you think you are. You're a missing person. Your name is Michelle Marie Newton, they told her. From there, Michelle phoned the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office and planned a long-awaited reunion with her father. She's always been in our heart. I can't explain the moment of walking in and getting to put my arms around my daughter, Joseph told local news. I wouldn't trade that moment for anything. It was just like seeing her when she was first born. It was like an angel. Now, Deborah was arraigned on a felony charge of custodial interference, according to the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office in Jefferson County, and she has been released on bond posted by a family member of hers. Now, Michelle and Joseph were both present at her arraignment, and Michelle didn't appear to immediately take a side. My intention is to support them both through this and try to navigate and help them both just wrap it up so we can all heal, which might be the most mature take on this. So I do hope that all of this can come to a conclusion and the mom does take some responsibility for screwing up so many people's lives. Again, love your child more than you hate your ex. And I'm not speaking like I'm a saint. Lord knows I had to pull my own head out of my ass a couple times in my life, being more angry at, someone than, wanting better for my kids. And I pulled my head out of said, rectal region and just loved my kids more. I do not get it. I do not get it. It confuses me to no end. Now, in a sadder story, but definitely as a wife of a former service member and a kiddo in a family who they're all service members, basically, I definitely do want to pay respect to the 2 National Guards members who were returned home yesterday. The the bodies of two Iowa National Guard soldiers and a civilian interpreter killed in Syria were returned to the U.S. on Wednesday, with President Trump leading the dignified transfer at Delaware's Dover Air Force Base. The solemn ceremony saw the bodies of Sergeant Edgar Brian Torres Tovar, 25, of Des Moines, and Sergeant William Nathaniel Howard, 29, of Marshalltown, unloaded from the plane as Trump and other high-ranking officials saluted the fallen men. Now, Tovar, Howard, and the interpreter, Assad Mansour Sakat of Michigan, were all had their lives taken by an ISIS gunman who had ambushed security forces supporting counterterrorism operations in Syria on Saturday. So again, this article does go more into kind of who was there and what they were wearing. I don't care about that. I do want to say a heartfelt thank you and for these service members and the interpreter who gave the ultimate sacrifice so I can sit in a free country and basically do this job and not have to worry about my safety, which is something that is paid for by so many people I don't know. And I've never read their stories. And this is just a good reminder that our freedoms, our benefits, the lives that we enjoy all have an invisible price tag that sometimes we can forget, but we should always honor and remember, or at least try to. And I do hope that their friends and family and their units are all getting the support, care, and love that they need right now. Again, the first holidays without your loved ones are just, they suck balls. Look, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. They just suck. They suck all the donkey, and it is what it is. So I hope they're getting all the love and support. Now, in possibly, where is Alanis Morissette for the irony song? Husband of Too Fast and Furious star Devin Okoye has been charged with hit and run after striking a Florida scooter rider. It's almost like Alanis could have sung about this. The husband of Too Fast, Too Furious driver or actress Devin Aoki, I'm probably mispronouncing that. Never really watched Fast and Furious. Sorry. I'll turn in my millennial card. I've wanted to turn it in for a while. I would like to identify as a Gen-lennial. I feel much more like in my soul, I'm a Gen Xer. So have my millennial card. I will willingly turn it in. Now, he was slapped with a hit and run charge after allegedly running over the foot of a scooter rider before fleeing to his $9.1 million Florida mansion this week. James Bailey, 40, was accused of hitting a scooter rider in a crosswalk while driving his Audi SQ7 SUV in Coral Gables on Monday, leaving the unidentified victim with serious injuries that included 2 foot fractures. Now the video shows the rider's foot trapped beneath the luxury SUV's right front tire as he slaps the hood, appearing to be in pain, I'm guessing as you would, begging for the driver to move the vehicle off his foot. Now, the victim's girlfriend was also frantically asking Bailey to move the vehicle back to release his foot from underneath the tire, according to an arrest report that has been obtained by local news. Now, moments later, the Audi reversed, knocking the man to the ground before backing up further, accelerating forward, and running over the scooter as he sped away without rendering aid or providing information. And thank you so much, James. Merry Christmas, Mo. Merry Christmas back to you. You guys have done so great. I am just, where are all my pens? I love that I clean up my desk, and this is why I can't clean things. I always endeavor to be very, very organized, and then I can't remember where past me assumed future me was going to remember where I put things. I don't know if anyone else suffers from that, but I always attempt to be so type A, and then I can't remember where old type A me thought current type A me was going to remember stuff. If you suffer from that, I am sure that It's perfectly normal, or at least it is for me. I say it's perfectly normal. So expect this to be going through the trial kind of, rigmarole. I will be watching this trial if it is live streamed, but I also do expect it's probable and highly likely that this is going to be a plea deal case. So again, I am not sure, but if this case does go forward, I think there is a clear, evidence that he fled the scene and did cause great bodily harm. So I'll be watching this trial, but I don't care to go into what his mansion looks like and how many, houses he has or what his wife used to could do as an adult pretender. So I'm not going to go deeper into that article. Now, this is one that I do think will be interesting because there have already been wrongful death suits filed by family members of the American Airlines jet. So I do wonder how this is going to affect that lawsuit going further and what this will do to actually change the very dangerous and congested, basically powder keg that is the DC airspace. I understand the need to have tactical retreat plans in case of an emergency, and I understand that there may need to be practice, but there does look like there is so much that could be done to make this much more safe. And a lot of people that have warned about the potentiality of this accident were either moved or ignored. So I do wonder where this is going to put a lot of not only the FAA, but different organizations, if this is going to require them to make the changes needed. Whether that means to, hire the most, meritocratic rather than whatever, quotas are needed. Now, that's about as political as I go. This is not a, Mo's hot take, but I do hope that some forward momentum goes because this is a situation that could have been prevented. The U.S. government has admitted liability this week in a mid-air collision between an Army helicopter and a passenger jet in Washington, D.C. that cost the lives of 67 people earlier this year, according to court documents. Quote, the United States admits that it owed the duty of care to the plaintiffs, which it breached, thereby proximately causing the tragic accident on January 29th, 2025. The Justice Department wrote in a court filing for a federal lawsuit brought by the family of victim Casey Crafton on Wednesday. Army pilots flying the Black Hawk helicopter on the 29th failed to maintain vigilance and proper safety and visual separation with an American Airlines jet, causing the deadly collision over the Potomac River near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, according to the 209-page filing. So again, I'm not a lawyer. I do think that someone on LawTube is probably going to cover this, but it will be interesting to see how this particular admission does intersect with the need to change policy and procedure, but also with the upcoming wrongful death lawsuits. I'm not a genius, but this is a pretty stark admission of guilt, of failure, and what will that mean for all of the victims, but also the American flying public? Will this lead to policy and greater safety changes for American flying public in general? I don't know. I do hope so. But, we will have to wait and see. Well, a predator not seen in Ohio for more than 100 years has been caught on camera. And no, it really is an animal. It's not a human predator. Thank God. An astonishing discovery was made after a wildlife camera spotted a fisher roaming through Cleveland metro parks, its first appearance in Cuyahoga County for over a century, according to park officials. Now, the park's trail cam captured the footage earlier this year, marking its first confirmed sighting of the species in the county since the 1800s, according to Cleveland Metro Parks. Now, a fisher is a native mammal to the state and typically dwells within the northernmost parts of Ohio. In the video, you can see this aminal, Again, it's the bright glowing eyes that I'm like, does anyone have some holy water? I'm just saying, it's the bright glowing eyes that I'm like, it's diamond. Again, this is why I'm an inside cat. Now, park officials described the discovery as tremendously exciting as the fisher's return emphasizes the impact and importance of the long-term conservation and habitat restoration efforts that have been going through Cleveland's forest, wetways, and waterways. So it does look like they've been really working to, try to help and rehabilitate the environment around there. I don't know. I guess it's a fisher weaselly thing. Let's see. This happens to be a significant discovery as Cleveland Metro Park said the Ohio Department of Natural Resources lists fishers as a species of special interest, pointing out they disappeared from most of the state by the mid-19th century due to habitat loss and unregulated trapping. Oh, are these one of the aminals that we make a stole out of? Asking for a friend. Look, I've never owned fur. I don't intend to. This is not a fashion choice. I'm asking if typically this is one of the animals that would have been used to make fur accessories. No idea. I'm guessing chicken. It always tastes like chicken. Now, I'm probably not going to cover much more of the Rob Reiner, Nick Reiner case until we start heading more into court. I do know there was a hearing and I might look at that. I am aware that Alan Jackson is representing Nick, but I tend to like to be, again, more of a juror type to these trials. So this will probably be the last time I touch on this, but it does look like there is more coming out about this case in the media, or at least alluding to more troubled history between Nick and his father, a possible argument, on the day shortly before this. So I am not sure. Again, the article does kind of go into anonymous sources and things that aren't quite clear and friends of friends. So it does look like it is becoming clear that there were definite family tensions and family arguments, whether or not and in actuality what the topic were about hasn't really been, discussed. And I think we do run the danger of getting into, the speculation station kind of thing. And getting into areas that will not be able to be brought into a court of law and does kind of blur that line. I mean, I like a tinfoil hat as much as the rest of us, but typically for cases that are going to a trial, I will stop kind of covering them and wait for the court documents to come out. Now, I do know there's a hearing and I will probably be making a video about that. As for right now, I don't have a dog in this fight. I didn't get sucked into the Karen Reed thing, so I don't have thought. I do think Alan Jackson is a good lawyer. I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of defense he crafts, but we've got a long wait until this actually gets to a trial, and that's what I'm going to be waiting for. Well, you guys, I don't even know what to say. We need final form Jesus for the rest of these stories because y'all, I have just about all the questions. And remember that Elvis link I told you to keep a pin in? Well, here we are, and help us, Jesus. Unveil your 6-pack of mercy and make this make sense.
The
She kept its grove, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, final form Jesus return in wrath. With six-pack glistening, sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
What in the name of Zoltron? Okay, I thought that the Nevada boyfriend beheading case had the tailed and, tawdry, quadrangle tangle of love. What in the hillbilly genetics is this? Okay, so Riley No is the biological mom of John Travolta's son, according to a new lawsuit. Do what now? I thought it was I'm not shocked. It's John Travolta, but do what now? Elvis Presley may have a secret grandchild. Lisa Marie Presley donated her eggs so that John Travolta and Kelly Preston could get pregnant, while her daughter, Riley No, is the biological mother of their other son, Ben, according to allegations shared as part of a bombshell new legal document that has been obtained by the National Inquirer. So take this with a grain of salt. But at this point, I put nothing past the weirdos and adult pretenders of Hollywood. Do what now? Priscilla Presley's former business associates, Brigitte Cruz and Kevin Falco, made the allegations as part of an amended complaint in their $50 million breach of contract suit against her son, Navron Gabraldi Garcia, which was filed on Tuesday, December the 16th. Do what? I am all the confused. I don't know what is going on here. I have so many questions, but I don't care. Y'all, no idea. I will have to look into this because my brain cannot wrap around the unholy mixture of Scientology, Elvis, and John Travolta right now. But there you go. There might be, at this point, there was a mother. We do know that this is a real, in fact, child. As a person who's had 6 children, none of my stories are this fun. Not that I wish my stories to be this fun, but none of them are this fun. So there you go. None of most stories involve Elvis Presley. Well, in sad news for the rest of humanity, not worried about John Travolta's lineage, Hidden Valley Ranch. If you've got Hidden Valley, the best and only ranch. Kraft Ranch is not ranch. It is mayonnaise with spices in it. Changed my mind. I'm going to make some enemies there. Look, I'm a Hidden Valley gal. I understand some people like Kraft Ranch. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I think you're wrong. Well, it might be time to toss that Hidden Valley Ranch bottle out of your fridge shelf. The popular dressing is just one of thousands that has been recalled in 27 states due to foreign objects being found in some batches. Yeah, it's, ranch is good on everything. I think it's a little bit of a stretch to add fingernails to that. And we do have noise coming from the courtroom, so it seems like they are getting things ready in the Brian Walsh sentencing. But back to this, it does look like black plastic planting material ended up in the dressing's granulated onion. So again, if you do have any of these brands, Italian salad dressing, creamy poblano avocado dressing and dip, Ventura Caesar dressing, pepper mill regal Caesar dressing, pepper mill creamy Caesar dressing, Caesar dressing for Costco Service Deli, Caesar dressing for the food court in Costco, or Hidden Valley Buttermilk Ranch. Just go ahead, buy a new one. Do, keep yourself safe. Now, the states that are affected are Arkansas, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, North Carolina, North Dakota, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Texas, Virginia, Washington, and Wisconsin. So just across the United States, let's band together and throw away our ranch dressings. And this does also apply to professional 1-gallon sizes. So if you are in a large family like me and you just skip the middleman and get the jugs, throw those out too. Just do it. I don't know how this is going to work, but China, I am your queen. Also, China, if I move over there, do I get to become your ruling empress? I think if you need a poster person for, high birth rates, again, I will take money and Sailor Moon stuff. I understand, China, you aren't involved in Japan anime, and that there might be some animus between you and Japan right now. But I am saying, if you would like to, have someone talk about having a giant, chaotic, crazy family, I am willing to take money to promote breeding, if you will. Look, I have 6 kids to put through college. I am, at this point, it's less degrading than OnlyFans. Well, China has slapped new taxes on condoms and contraceptives in order to boost birth rates. How about not being a totalitarian, terrible government? That could help things. I mean, I'm just throwing things. Well, it's my mouth that'll get me thrown in jail. Never mind, I can't go to China. Have you met me? After a 30-year exemption, the country is slapping a 13% sales tax on condoms, birth control pills, and other birth control devices, hoping to boost its declining birth rates and offset the long-term impact of an aging population and a declining workforce. And with contraceptive more expensive under the new law, which takes effect January 1st, 2026, officials are offering other financial incentives to usher in a baby boom. Okay. Changes made include making healthcare or childcare services, elder care institutions, and disability service providers tax exempt, and they're offering extended maternity leave, which varies across the country but has gone from 128 days to 158 days in big cities like Beijing, along with a proposed 30-day paid paternity leave. On January 1st, 2025, each family became eligible to receive a cash allowance of about 3,600 won, or about $500 per year per each child born after that date. But a tough job market and skyrocketing prices of raising a child through age 18, an estimated $76,000, also has a lot of young people blowing off, this wanting to have kids. Yeah. You need to have a stable economy if you want people to be able to provide for these extra children, because I can tell you as a mom of 6, it's not cheap, and we work really hard. I mean, our kids don't have name brand stuff and all that jazz, but we have a nice life and they've never gone hungry. But no, we don't go out on vacations. We don't go to steakhouses. We eat meatloaf instead of prime rib. Yeah, there are sacrifices you have to make in order to have a bigger family. And you really have to have a good economy where people can work hard, or a husband can work hard. Because you want to know why I didn't work? We did the math. It didn't pay for, I would have to work and get a job that paid almost $30 an hour in order to take home minimum wage after paying childcare. We did the math. And we were lucky enough that I was able to stay home. Not every family's blessed like that. But China, I know it's the economy, stupid. It's not about condoms, it's about the economy. Why am I the voice of reason? When your okayest life guru, your hot mess express, priestess, has decidedly become the voice of reason in the room, what in the world? So, China, again, it's the economy, not condoms, stupid. But those are the headlines today. So, I mean, I have an idea. Does that mean if I take a bunch of Trojans over to China, I could sell them? No, I'd probably end up in jail. Never mind. Business idea scarpered. Also, I'm kind of not actually, if I take youngest, most feral over there with a bunch of condoms, I will be single-handedly depopulating China. No one will have children. All right, now for the clips that made me cringe and made me smile. Now, I have been remiss in capturing the cringelarity of other, holiday traditions, in addition to Christmas. And I found, again, give found footage festival some love. They are where they find all of these insane VHSs. They find the clips. They are hilarious. We have Hanukkah children's program, and we found the Christmas ones. I don't believe there are any puppets in this, but there are dreidels. So buckle in.
Hanukkah.
Tales and tunes. Good, gibble, hey, shit. Watch the dreidel spin, spin, spin. Good.
Okay, who went to the post office and said, look, I need 9 boxes. What are you doing with 9 boxes? I'm making dreidels. Aren't they made out of clay? That's not...
Gibble, hey, shit. Watch now, let the fun begin. Good, gibble, hey, shit. Spin the dreidel, try to win. And sing along our dreidel song with me. Like
The enthusiasm of a DMV meeting. Why are they all dressed up like Who's? Like, I understand the dreidels. Why are we dressed up like the Who's from Whoville? I myself watched the Rugrats Hanukkah special, so I don't know if the Who's from Whoville were there with the Maccabees.
menorah, it's Hanukkah, it's Hanukkah. Light the menorah when Hanukkah is here. Light the menorah.
I love that none of the dancers are on what anyone would assume is the beat. These are my kind of dancers. I, in fact, was responsible for all the choreography.
Say the blessings every night. Light the menorah when Hanukkah is here. See the dreidel spinning round and round and round. When
Oh, there's so much business in the front, party in the back, dreidel all around.
it stops, it will tell you this is what you have to do.
Now it's time to play dreidel and eat latkes.
Tell stories.
And remember Judah Maccabee.
And laugh out loud.
And sing songs.
And remember Blossom. Oh my gosh, I had every single one of these outfits. Well, for the ladies. Bring back the baby doll dress is all I've got to say.
Miracles.
And open presents. And have a happy, happy Hanukkah, everybody.
Miracles aren't just
Well, that was interesting, as per usual. And it wouldn't be, well, I love that I canceled that instead of share screen because I am, in fact, a genius. But we had pies in the headlines, so I figured we would ask Pearl about proper possum pumpkin pies. Notice she didn't put the O in there because you don't pronounce it, because it's possum. I will die on this hill. I'm ready to die on this hill. When I am president, no opossum, just possum. Just possums.
Well, aren't you the merry wanderer? Hello. November is a time.
Not that I really care about why the possum's wearing a sombrero, but why is the possum wearing a sombrero when you're talking about Thanksgiving? I am confused.
Time of Thanksgiving, and I don't mind slaving over a hot stove to show those I love how thankful I am that they're in my life. And nothing says lovin' like pumpkin from the oven. Each pie touched with love. Come on, sweetheart. You want to touch the pie with love? Yes. Okay, just one little. Very good.
No, 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 no. The entire human condition of sanitation from the 18th century on has been to keep rodents out of our food. No, I don't want the possum to touch my that pie with love. No, everything is wrong about this. Everything.
Now, this we've made for poor cousin, what's his name, in the home. I don't think they ever did give him a name, but we are going to give him a pie. That's right.
Yeah, remember that time you got Ebola in the hantavirus? Yeah, that was the pie I made. I mean, forget the help that with the pie with the poo in it. Uh, uh, this is how we get 12 monkeys. This is how we get the outbreak of, pandalirium.
And then we mustn't forget Clayton the mailman. Oh, who was such a good sport after the...
I like that Clayton the mailman is at least getting a Kroger pie. I like that the handmade one is going to the relative. And because, ma'am, I see you. I too am a Kroger Plus member. I got that Kroger.
Incident with our German guard opossum. Now, I know you can't replace a thumb with a pie, but, well, we try. Let me have this, sweetheart. Can you let go? Oh, Clayton, the mailman, would so appreciate your touch of love. All right. Let's just get rid of it. All right. We use an old family recipe to give each pie the personal touch. There. Here we go.
Sadly, still more homemade than Meghan Markle stuff. In fact, I would rather watch this than Meghan Markle's, with love. In fact, more heartfelt and loving than Meghan Markle can confirm.
I don't often cook, but when I do, I wear this sturdy yet stylish, big-pocketed Maypearl apron, which you can get from our store on Zazzle. You'll find the link much easier than I can. I don't know.
Yes, because what every pantry, what every home, what every homemaker needs is the Maypearl big pocketed apron for your possum and non-possum needs.
It's got to be somewhere. Is your little hat okay? There. Now, also from our store in Zazzle, you can get this fabulous Maypearl calendar. Now, you may notice that for November, there's a kind of eerie, disconcerting image and message of our beloved leader. It is identical to the one on the apron. Coincidental synchronicity? I think not. Oh, we should have...
I always wondered what happened to Annette Funicello, and now I realized the Disney was always bad for child actors.
Have some for ourselves. Oh, hot, don't you think? All right, let's get our own pie. Would you like some whipped cream? Is this hat giving you a little trouble? You all right? Would you like some whipped cream? Oh, let's do that. Ready? Watch out. Ooh. There.
You know, I don't often encourage people to do whippets, but this woman would be hilarious on whippets. I'm a terrible person. I'm going straight to hell, but this woman has possums. I mean, at this point, it might calm her ass down.
Some for me. Isn't that fun? It is. Well, I never get cream. Okay. We are plunged into Mercury retrograde. Do you remember what that means? Well, oh, this is ours. Oh, goody. Ooh, hot. Let me remind you, Mercury retrograde is that time when, for a few weeks, this will be for Mrs. Teitelbaum, our favorite librarian. Okay, you love Mrs. Teitelbaum. Want to give her a little love? Okay. I'm going to remind you, during these few weeks, don't do anything. Don't go anywhere. Don't say anything. Don't sign.
Ma'am, I have been ahead of you on this. I don't do anything on the daily, and I do not go outside unless I am forced out Noriega style. Ma'am, I am way ahead of you. I am turning into this woman. Oh my God.
Anything. Don't start anything, and don't marry anybody. Don't divorce anybody, and for Pearl's sake, don't conceive anybody. Why?
I'm pretty sure that one's taken care of, but I will tell Mr. Moe absolutely no postmarital sex when Mars is in retrograde. Whenever that is.
Well, not to go into detail, but if you've seen Rosemary's Baby, you get the gist. But I'm not going to be a negative Nelly. No, because Thanksgiving is also the time when family and friends get together.
Can you just imagine this woman in the village going to the Kroger and buying every GD pumpkin pie and then turning around and telling people, no, it's for me and my possum. We have a YouTube. Oh my God, I am this woman. Because the last time I dressed up as Sarah Boone, I had to go to the liquor store because I know you guys are shocked, but I don't have Mad Dog 2020 lying around. So I go into the liquor store with my Sarah Boone getup, as I do, not thinking about anything. And I'm in there and I ask the woman, now I am a member of the over the shoulder boulder holder, but I did ask her if she had a smaller bottle of Mad Dog 2020 because I was trying to hide it in my bosom area. And then I realized that I probably needed to explain that statement that I just, let out there like a bomb out of nowhere. And I was like, no, I'm playing this woman. She's in jail. She likes to drink and she hoards cheese slices. So not only will I have the Mad Dog 2020 in my bosom region, but I will also have cheese slices. And by the look on the woman in the liquor store's face, my secondary comment had failed to clarify the first comment. And then I was like, I'm guessing that while this is a strange conversation, it's not the weirdest one you've had in this store. So I'm just going to pay for my stuff and leave. And this is how Mo peoples generally. Why I just, oh my God, I am this woman. I just don't have the possums.
To give thanks for their many blessings and for each other. And what better way to celebrate Turkey Day than by contacting your farm animal sanctuary and adopting a turkey? I know what you're thinking, but it's not true. You don't have to bring the turkey into your own home. No, you are simply financially responsible for the care of said turkey for the rest of its natural life. Cool, huh? Yeah. Well, would you like to be out of your hat? I'm getting that feeling. Okay, we'll just set it over here. They're free at last. No more bunga bunga. This is POTUS. POTUS and I will be right here, patiently turning out these one-of-a-kind, handmade, home-crafted, personalized.
This woman was Meghan Markle before it was a thing. This woman.
Touched by love. Pumpkin pies.
What the? Why are we taking it out of the pan?
To be invited by family or friends to a special holiday gathering, start thinking of what unique contribution that only you can bring. All right. Oh, 2 quick points. Don't arrive drunk. And don't leave by the bathroom window. Okay. Well, until...
Ma'am, again, you have never met my family, and those happen to be age-old survivals in my clan. So I generally listen to you, but no, I refuse. I will not be showing up to family functions sober. How dare you? And I will reserve my right to escape however I feel tactically necessary. Now, for our final, I figured we needed to end with a little bit of Arnold. We've got Terminator 2, the musical. Loopholes are
I used to
important.
kill people, outrageous amounts. I'd murder them all just like that. Maiming and injuring those shouldn't count, but now I'm obeying this brat. How'd I end up on the wrong side of the war? Things made much more sense in 1984. Yes, this idiot believes that I'm his friend, but I'd give anything to kill someone again. It used to be simple, they'd give me a name, I'd check in the phone book and come to the door, pull out my gun and I blow out the brains, and I shoot 5 more times to be perfectly sure. I was much more efficient the first time around. You got in my way, that was it, you were dead. I'd punch through your stomach or come back and drive through your desk, but now I just hurt you instead. Why can I no longer kill them? It seems so unfair. What does it mean to be human? I do not care. Taking orders from a boy who's only 10. But I'd give anything to kill someone again. I'm stuck with this woman protecting her son. Kinder and gentler, I gave them my vow. The damn T-1000 has all of the fun. Now when I shoot, they don't die, they say ow. Just when you think things can't get any worse, I can no longer curse. I can't say fuck you asshole. So stupid to try and suppress my desire to kill like I did in my last role. What is the point of a killing machine who can feel? Go ahead, Kana, and lower me into the steel. Yes, this idiot believes that I'm his friend. But how I miss that special thrill. Won't be me again until I give anything to kill someone again.
Good old-fashioned 80s movie. I know I bring it up, but my dad and I watched Commando. I probably shouldn't have been watching it at 9. Sorry, Dad, for outing our secret, father-daughter Chuck Norris bonding time. But they were fun movies. Yes, they were gratuitous violence. Yes, there was a lot of, catchphrases. But they were just fun, and they were a way for me and my dad to sit there together. He didn't quite understand me, and I couldn't quite understand him. But we would both kind of, get into the movies. So, yeah, I probably shouldn't have been watching all of the Chuck Norris discography with my father at, 8 or 9. But it was a way for us to bridge that weird, like, I'm a girl, I don't know how to talk to you. You're a dad, I don't know how to talk to you about feelings. Just fun, cool movies. Good Lord, Hollywood, could you just blow some stuff up and have Rambo say one-liners? Chuck Norris is still around. He'd probably kick everyone's ass. I mean, I'm just saying. Well, there you go, you guys. I am going to send you guys over to the Brian Walsh sentencing and, have some Kleenex ready. I am anticipating this is going to be some tough testimony to watch the people who are grieving Anna, the people who have lost her. And it does give, at the bottom line, we watch these trials and we get to see the strategy, the defense, the state, and we look at these cases. At the bottom of it, there really is a human tragedy with each one of these cases. And that's why I watch the sentencings. And, it might not be an easy thing. We will definitely have puppy kitten breaks if we need them. But as a way to honor, the very human tragedy that this is and was for not only anyone who knew Anna, but her children. That's why we do this. It is a way to honor and have a wonderful, wonderful day. If I don't see you there, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire because you never know if you might have to be the mean Terminator once in a while. Bye, you guys.